Hello everyone, it is me, and today I'm going to be reading an article for you. And this article came out about around a week ago, and it is about Birmingham City Council being declared bankrupt, which I only found out since yesterday. And I was looking into it a bit, and I thought it was quite interesting, so I decided to do it for a video and give my say on it, because I don't think anything like this ever happened, at least not in my lifetime. That a public service sector went bankrupt, certainly the council. Since it's like it's in public ownership. It's a public, it's a public organisation, so they don't necessarily have to compete for like customers. So they basically just get money from taxes, which you don't need to compete for like a business has to. So it's very interesting. I think. So I'm going to read it for you. Birmingham City Council effectively declares bankruptcy after being hit by £160 million bill. Birmingham City Council has formally declared itself in financial distress, confirming a statement that all new spending, with the exception of protecting vulnerable people and statutory services, must stop immediately. Birmingham City Council has officially declared bankruptcy after being hit with a £76 million. Sorry, no, that wouldn't be that bad. It's much worse than that. £760 million pound bill to settle equal pay claims. The council said it had issued a Section 114 notice confirming that all new spending, with the exception of protecting vulnerable people and statutory services, must stop immediately. In a statement declaring itself in financial distress, the local authority said it will tighten the spend controls already in place and put them in the hands of Section 151 officer to ensure there is a complete grip. The Labour-run council is the largest local authority in Europe, comprising of 101 councillors and 65 Labour, 22 Conservative, and 12 Lib Dem and 2 Green. The statement read: Birmingham City Council had issued an S114 notice as part of the plans to meet the council's financial liabilities relating to equal pay claims, I went to sleep when I went to sleep about 2 in the morning. I was on a voice chat. I'm sorry. I had an energy drink and I also was drinking the night before, so I'm all right. But I'm still going to stutter and get things wrong. But if you know me, you will know this is not a new phenomenon. And in year financial gap within its budget, which currently stands in the region of 87 million. In June, the council announced it had a potential liability relating to equal pay claims in the region of 650 million to 760 million, with an ongoing liability occurring at the rate of 5 million to 14 million per month. The council is still in a position where it must fund the equal pay liability that has occurred today in the region of 650 million to 760 million, but it does not have resources to do so. It added the council's senior officers and members are committed to dealing with the financial situation, and when more information is available, it will be shared. Equal pay crisis. Sky Midlands correspondent Becky Johnson said the council has been in talks in recent months over the management of finances in Britain's second biggest city and the equal pay issue. It comes after a Supreme Court ruling back in 2012 found in favour of mostly female employees of Birmingham City Council, and that a bonus scheme that was handed out to staff in certain roles favoured those which were mainly taken up by men. Johnson said they have been paying out these claims over the years, but the bill is now increasingly by about 14 million pounds a month, and currently stands at 7,060 million. And is just not money the council can afford to spend. We know over the summer they stopped essential spending to try and meet this bill. They tried to do this without taking this measure. She said the implications of the Section 114 notice are serious, adding there will be huge reduction in investment from the council in the city while it tries to figure out how it is going to pay the bill. Political fallout. Now this has provoked a huge political roar, Johnson added. The leader of the Conservative groups is accusing the Labour-led council of failing to get a grip of the equal pay issue and accused them of lying to the public that things were looking rosier than they were financially over recent years. Well, taxes are up since I think taxes are high they were in World War II when Britain was fighting like half of the world. So I couldn't understand why she believed that. Councillor Robert Adlon, I don't know, leader of the Conservative opposition, said Labour's failure in Birmingham has become clear for all to see. What Birmingham pledged as a golden decade ahead to voters in 2022 turns out to be based on budgets in 2021 and 22 that did not balance and were not unfunded. Combined with Birmingham Labour's refusal to deal with equal pay over the last decade, this has created this mess where residents will now lose valuable services and investment. He added, Birmingham has no grip of their mess and no ability to fix it. Hence why the final say on spending controls has been removed from Labour political leadership. Unprecedented financial challenges. In a joint statement, Council leader John Cotton and his deputy Sharon Thompson said, like authorities across the country, it is clear that Birmingham Council faces unprecedented financial challenges, from huge increases in adult social care demand and dramatic reductions in business rates income to the impact of rampant inflation. We implement rigorous spending controls in July, and we have made a request to the local government association for additional strategic support. Today's issuing of Section 114 notice is a necessary step as we get to our city back on a sound financial footing, so that we can build a stronger city for our residents. Despite the challenges that we face, we will prioritise core services that our residents rely on, in line with our values of supporting the most vulnerable. I think that is what the purpose of council is. Well, the main purpose of it is anyway. So, like for necessary services such as roads. So I do know why. I do know what the council was spending the money on, which I will probably talk about during the end. But I'm not surprised they went bankrupt. In a series of tweets, Minister for Local Government Lee Rowley said, "We have been aware of significant problems at Birmingham City Council for some time, caused by a failure to deal with historic pay issues and bungled IT implementation." So if you want to, let's see what the tweet has to say. "We have been aware of significant problems at Birmingham City Council for some time, caused by a failure to deal with historic pay issues and a bungled IT implementation. It is truly disappointing but not expected that Birmingham has issued a Section 114 notice today." Yeah. In April, recognising that potential problems were developing, we requested and Birmingham agreed to undertake an internal review. We await the outcome of that report and we will consider it carefully. Other councils which have effectively declared bankruptcy. Hackney Council has issued a Section 114 notice in 2000, with Northamptonshire County following suit in 2018. Croydon Council issued its first 114 notice in 2 years, in November 2022, while Thurrock in Essex took the step in December last year after it got into difficulties over borrowing large sums to invest in solar energy. Woking has issued a Section 114 in June. This year, due to what it said was an extremely serious financial shortfall, owing to its historic investment strategy, that has resulted in unaffordable borrowing, inadequate steps to repay that borrowing, and high-value incurable loans. concerning for residents. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's official spokesperson said, "Clearly, local government is vital for our communities, Well, to be fair though, they're not, to be honest. They don't they were really doing hardly nothing, to be fair. Like, the last thing that I remember my council doing is creating a skate park near like a retirement home, which is probably not the best idea, but anyway. The government, and we know they have been facing pressures. The government, for its part, has stepped in to provide support an additional 5.1 billion to councils in 2023-24, which is more than a 9% increase for Birmingham City Council. Clearly, it's for locally elected council to manage their own budgets. I know the department has been engaging regularly with them to that end and has expressed concern about their governance arrangements and has requested assurance from the leader of the council about the best use of taxpayers' money." We're near at the end. He acknowledged Birmingham has a particular issue around equal pay settlements, and ministers have commissioned an independent governance to review, which will report in the coming weeks. It will be concerning for people in Birmingham, and it is important that the council provide reassurance and deliver on what has been requested by the department, he added. So, yep, that's the end of the article. What are my thoughts on this? Well, I didn't really say what the council was spending money on. Because, I watched a video on it, and apparently what they were spending their money on, because this was on stuff such as, I don't know what it was, but they spent millions or even billions on I think it was about the Olympics, or I forgot what it's called again. It's called the Euro. It's basically something about Euro and where we all sing. It's something along those lines. So I've this Olympics thing or this sport thing about around Europe, like European Olympics. I'm really not sure, but it was something to do with sports or along those lines, I believe. We literally spent millions just placing signs everywhere advertising it. And they also spent I think millions on this bull, on this giant bull in a train station. And it was kind of an animatronic, I'm not sure. And the issue is lots of people were complaining about, they don't have the best bus services or the best trains. So in regard to that, they did kind of reap what they sow. Regard that we're not spending their money on lots of things. I've apparently been trying to build good roads, even though they didn't even have potholes on them, just to make the roads look more visually appealing. Which I don't really see the point in, since if there's no potholes, I'm not point in fixing the road. Anyway, so do I think it's justified? Well, I think one of the issue is though that with stuff like councils in the public sector alone, it doesn't have the incentives what private enterprises have, where they have to try and save as much money as possible, and not try and get themselves bankrupt. Since there's no incentive, no one owns it. No one actually owns the council allegedly, unlike a business. Since when you have a business, you actually have an incentive not to go bankrupt because you want money, and you have to get customers. But with the public sector, on the other hand, you just get money sent you. You get money sent you. You don't have to work for it. You don't have to advertise your product or services. And with private business, if you don't have a good product or services, people won't go to your business, and then you will basically be out of business. But like I said, on council, on the other hand, you get money sent you even if you're doing stupid things like the Birmingham Council was. Just doing all these stupid things, spending money where it shouldn't be. So I think it's justified. Since like I already explained why this is usually the case with public services sector, why it is the way it is. So I think it is justified. What the government needs to do is probably get a balanced budget and amendment in, since this is what happens. People spend billions of pounds on just useless things, and I think the government also needs to make it much more strict on what the council can spend money on, such better police force, roads, etc. Things like genuine services, and rather than just stupid things, stupid events. on those lines. Sorry, on those lines. And so I think it is justified. Yeah, it should be like it should. I think public services kind of need competition, where it comes to if you keep spending your money on useless things and it doesn't pay off, you should just basically go bankrupt. So yeah, I think it deserved. I think Birmingham Council should go bankrupt. Since I think if this was much more common for councils to get to go bankrupt, they would have much better incentive to actually spend money on actual proper things that people actually want and what people will use. So I think this is actually could actually put lots of councils at least back on the right track. So they do spend money on stuff that they actually need. So yeah, what else? What else can I say? I swear to God, I was going to say something, but I forgot. So it's kind of awkward now. Yeah, but to be honest, one thing they could do to actually get themselves back on track is that they could probably. This is what, let's be honest, lots of what the government usually does is that they usually cut taxes. They say they cut taxes. All political parties, at least mainstream parties, cut taxes, but then they put more public debt. So it looks like people are paying less in tax, but they are still paying tax to pay off the debt. Essentially, that's what lots of them do. So it's very rare where you generally get actual, proper tax cuts, actually austerity measures in place. It's very rare when that actually happens. Since like I said before, the taxes are really high in the UK. I think they've been up since World War II. When Britain was literally fighting half of the world, so it does say a lot. So what they could do is that, but I don't know how council could do this, since I'm not an expert. What the council could do is that they could make services be poorer for a short time, and then we can complain. Say, look, vulnerable people are not getting help. There's crime, public services, buses and trains aren't working properly. So then we could get, they could probably get better. So they could probably convince Westminster to raise taxes. So then we can just for a short time, make services better for a short time, make services work more efficiently. Then we could say, look, all the tax cuts, things are getting better. But then then do it again, then make the service poor. Then say, we need a bigger budget. Then do it again, then do it in a cycle. Then you get massive money, which I think is what lots of public services are doing now. But you're doing that, but to be fair, you can't blame them, to be honest. So if anyone on a council can do that, I think that could be a good business model. Complain about there's not enough money, and then people will feel bad. Just say stuff like, vulnerable people are cold, they're not getting help. Play on people's heartstrings. So then you get big loan from Westminster, and just do it again. So if anyone's on a council or anyone is in the public sector, that's how you can get yourself some more money. So anyway, that's all I really have to say. It was just a quick video, and yeah. So anyway, put comment below what you think about this. What do you think about it? Do you think it's good that they went bankrupt, or do you support, or do you think Westminster should be giving them more money? I just want your honest opinions. And what did you think about my strategy for public service workers get more money? Do you think it's a good strategy, or do you think it's pretty bad? I don't know. I'm not an expert on finance or economics, but I think that's something that could actually work if enough people demanded it in the public sector. And certainly with strikes going on, that could probably work. But anyway, it's probably not in most people's best interest to work in the private sector. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. Goodbye.